Right now at noon, the city of Pittsburgh hopes for grant money to help address the issue of homelessness.
And temperatures heating up out there with plentiful sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon. We're going to talk about how hot it's going to get and if there's any rain on the way coming up.
Plus, local food pantries may soon get a helping hand thanks to a summer food drive.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Pittsburgh agrees to terms with Pitt State over millions in funding for a new College of Business. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. The Gorilla Rising project aims to develop the new college as well as on-site parking at 3rd and Broadway. It will also see the redevelopment of the Best Hotel on 4th Street. The city approved the funding agreement yesterday for more than $10 million. They say it will provide a much needed update.
Original idea was updates to the building on campus. That effort lingered and didn't quite get the traction it needed to come to completion. And so a revision to that plan just a short time ago was, let's think about a different way to do this, maybe a better way to do this. And that's when the idea surfaced to perhaps move the College of Business downtown, where it could connect with the Block 22 project that's been so successful downtown.
The city also approved $32,000 in funding for the Kels College of Business Economic Research proposal. The city of Pittsburgh is requesting more than $300,000 in federal funding to help address the homelessness issue. Every year for more than a decade, the city has applied for the Emergency Solutions Grant through the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. The city requests a certain amount of funding, and this year they're applying for $300,000 to aid the city's homeless community. Last year they applied for $450,000, but were granted approximately $100,000.
We also helped with homeless prevention funds, which helps individuals stay housed with either back rent or utilities assistance, and there was some funding for day shelter operations.
Funds will be distributed beginning on July 1st. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, temperatures heating up across the area, and that is thanks to all of these clear skies that we have, giving us plentiful sunshine. Of course, that's MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking back to the south, and then our camera on top of the Cornell complex. There's a stray cloud out there, but barely visible at this point, and obviously not enough to stop that sunshine. So this was filled out, and then it went blank again. I love when it does that, but we did make it up to 86 yesterday, so only a degree above where we should be. However, that is going to begin to change as time goes on. We're already seeing low mid 80s out there across the area, and as we head through the evening, it's a slow cool down, but we'll eventually make it to about 73 by midnight. We're going to hold on to those clear skies as we head through the evening hours as well, so staying quite hot. And don't forget, of course, our UV index high. You need to be staying hydrated and protecting yourself from the sun. Now, some good news, at least a little bit. We do have at least some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances rolling in starting tomorrow night. We're going to break down the details on all that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. The Missouri Department of Conservation wants to remind the public that frog season begins this month. Beginning June 30th at sunset through October 31st, those with a fishing permit or small game hunting permit may go frogging for bullfrogs and green frogs. The daily limit is 8 frogs of both species combined, and the possession limit is 16 frogs of both species combined. Even if you're not into frogging, the Department of Conservation encourages everyone to get out and enjoy nature this time of year. For more information on frogging, including recipes, you can hop on over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Schermerhorn Park is home to the SEK Nature Center as well as the Schermerhorn Cave. It's one of numerous Mississippian limestone caves in the region and is home to the long-tailed salamander, cave salamander, and grotto salamander. It's also legend that the famous outlaw Jesse James had a hideout in the cave.
From my understanding, he maybe utilized this a couple of times as a hideout location. There is a news article from a long time ago that states that he'd stayed in this area. So we don't know all of the facts on it, but supposedly Jesse James and his gang spent a little time right in this area.
The park is open every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Well, some Carthage grade schoolers are diving into the world of sea turtles. In advance of World Sea Turtle Day, third graders at Steadley Elementary yesterday wrote about turtles and did turtle-related crafts. It's part of their 20 Days Around the World summer school journey designed to expand the students' horizons. It also provides some fun facts.
Over 115 eggs a day for 10 days. They lay it on the beach in sand in a hole, and then they cover it up with sand.
Another fun sea turtle fact, unlike other turtles, sea turtles can't retract their flippers and head into their shells. Kids in Pittsburgh were able to listen and learn under the shade at Lincoln Park this morning as part of Pittsburgh Public Library's Adventure Begins summer story sessions. The Storytime sessions are free and open to kids of all ages and their families. The sessions feature puppet shows, books, crafts, and even a theme. Today's theme was pirates. The summer story sessions are held every Tuesday and Wednesday from now until July 24th. Many people come and go from the Fort Scott Farmers Market, but there's been one staple for the past 25 years. Ron and Beverly Brown sell fresh produce there and connect with the community through it. Former farmer Ron says he's just doing what he knows best.
We used to farm quite a little bit and got out of that didn't want to quit, so got into this. And we've been doing it, like I said, over 20 years now, and it's still agriculture.
The Fort Scott Farmers Market is open on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. Well, coming up, we'll see how the unemployment rate in Southwest Missouri compares to the rest of the state. And later, we're making Dad's beer marinated steak in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Mercy Joplin's chapter of Women with a Mission hosted a donation ceremony yesterday. The chapter has raised more than $100,000 for such projects as ultrasound, surgical equipment, and cardiac services equipment for various departments. Women with a Mission Giving Society combines resources, a vision, and a passion for helping others to support and improve healthcare in its communities. KOAM and Fox 14 are starting a summer food drive as part of our Feed the Four States campaign. Local food pantries have struggled since COVID, so any size donation makes a world of difference. As part of our summer food drive, we ask that you bring donations to your local food pantry, either in the form of cash or non-perishable food items. You can find a list of food pantries in the area on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. Well, summer jobs could turn into full-time opportunities. Chris Bryan looked into the job numbers for the area and explains how the unemployment rate for Southwest Missouri is doing better than the rest of Missouri.
Well, Springfield continues to be the fastest growing metro in the state of Missouri.
According to the most recent numbers, Missouri has an unemployment rate of 3.4%. In Springfield, that number drops to 2.9% and is down from March's 3.3%.
Especially in growing areas like the Springfield metro, where you see a lot of job creation taking place, and even in an area like this where our population is growing faster than most places, it's really hard to keep up with the demand for new jobs. And
the Missouri Economic Research and Information Center's 10-year outlook for jobs in the state shows that the top openings now for those with a high school education or less are fast food and counter workers and retail sales. The top jobs in the area that require a high school education are heavy and tractor trailer drivers, cooks in restaurants, and nursing assistants.
And the best thing that someone can do is to really invest in their skills development, make sure that they have the skills necessary to get those good, high quality, high paid jobs.
Jobs requiring a 4-year college degree or higher are general and operation managers, registered nurses, and accountants. By the year 2030, the long-term projections show the greatest needs in the Ozark region will be the arts and designs area, food preparation and service, and personal care occupations.
But a lot of employers are now getting very aggressive in terms of how they work with employees to try to help support them, maybe help even pay for some of that additional education that's necessary that increases your earning potential.
The labor force in Missouri is a little more than 3 million, with more than 105,000 unemployed. Missouri's 3.4% unemployment rate is lower than the national rate at 3.9%.
Leading into the summer months, the unemployment rates varied a bit in southwest Missouri counties. Barton County sits at 3.1%, Jasper is at 3.3%, and Newton is 3.4%. Vernon's rate is 3.6%, and McDonald County is the highest, sitting at 3.8%. Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
With Father's Day just around the corner, we decided to combine two of Dad's favorites into one amazing recipe. He's gonna love this.
And it is going to get hot as we head into the weekend, but we're also tracking some storm chances. Well, details on that when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we've got a pretty toasty day out there, and it's going to continue to get hotter as we head into the weekend, but there might be a few stray showers and thunderstorms as early as tomorrow night. So let's start with the future track. We're skipping through the rest of the day and most of tomorrow, because most of tomorrow will be like today, just a little bit hotter. It'll be by the time we head late evening and into the overnight, we've got a disturbance. Now this has changed since this morning. If you were with us this morning, you may recall about this same time there was a complex of storms coming through. It's been backed up a bit. It's something we'll still watch, but it's at least an opportunity for some showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms as we go overnight, Thursday into Friday morning across the area. So that's going to be the first potential opportunity for at least some of us to get a little bit of rain. Unfortunately, you also know this time of year, if we get just a little bit of rain, it leaves behind a lot of humidity and makes things a little more uncomfortable. So we'll see exactly how that plays out. Then as we go through the day Friday, this is one thing that has not changed since this morning, is watch all those little green specks that keep popping up here and there and just about everywhere until we start losing the daytime heating. Those are those pop-up storms, and pop-up storms are going to be a possibility through the, let's say, late evening hours, 9, 10 o'clock at the latest, because then we start to lose the heating of the day. But we'll still have that opportunity for isolated pop-up storms. Those are those ones, they flare up pretty quickly, and they're there for about 20, 30 minutes, and then they die just as quickly as they popped up. And in most cases, they don't do a lot of moving. They'll just kind of sit over an area. So that said, I'm going the wrong way here. We still do have a low risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms in our northern counties, kind of where the future track was painting some of that activity late tomorrow night into Friday morning. And then we have that broader risk across the region on Friday. Still a low risk, but that's associated with those pop-up storms. They've got just the right environment that if we get a couple of those pop-up storms, they could become strong to low-grade severe. In both cases at this point, small hail, gusty winds, the primary concerns with any of the storms that may get intense. As today, and this will be the case I'm sure tomorrow, our UV index is a 10. It is very high. A burn time for unprotected, uncovered skin is 10 minutes, so do make sure if you've got to be outside, again, we know some professions, you don't have a choice, you got to be outside, then make sure you're taking precautions. And on top of that, with this heat, you want to make sure you're staying hydrated as well. Looking really good, at least in the sky out there from our camera 7th and range line, 83 in Joplin, west-southwest breeze at 8, so not doing much. Where we're lucking out at this point is, the dew points come up a bit. Humidity is not following suit, so that's helping keep the heat index in check at this point. Temperatures, again, warming low, mid-80s out there, and we're heading for highs today in the mid to upper 80s. That south breeze, again, not doing much for us. As we head into the overnight hours tonight, clear skies, a light south wind. Overnight lows a bit milder, upper 60s compared to what we've seen. Tomorrow we'll spend most of the day sunny again, highs in the low 90s, maybe getting close to the mid 90s, and we'll have those thunderstorm chances by late night hours on our Thursday. And then take a look, rain or not, it does not play any role in our temperatures heading into the weekend. As we start to go into the mid 90s by Sunday, we could even reach the upper 90s. And if any of that comes to be, if humidity or dew point levels increase just right, we could be looking at heat index values by this weekend into the triple digits. So we're at that point now. We've got to start getting ready, making sure that you're taking precautions in the heat, because the heat is here. Look at those overnight lows too, into the 70s. So not much relief overnight either.
Nope. All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making Dad's beer marinated steak in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, Howard is showing us how to make Dad's beer marinated steak in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With Father's Day only a few days away, we want to share a recipe that we think Dad and all the dads in your life will love. I mean, what dad doesn't like steak? And when it's marinated in beer, all the better. We start off by making an outrageous marinade by mixing together some soy sauce, brown sugar, minced garlic, and get this, a good amount of beer. Now we marinate a flank steak in this in the fridge for at least a couple hours or even overnight. Come dinner time, we take the steak out of the marinade and toss it onto our outdoor grill, or we can even do this right in a grill pan right on our stovetop. All it takes is about 5 minutes per side or until it's done to your liking. Then we sprinkle on some sea salt and some freshly ground pepper before slicing it thinly across the grain. Does this look mouth-watering or what? Between the richness of the beer and the wow we get from the garlic, you can't miss. So here's what I suggest. Go online and get the recipe for Dad's Beer Marinated Steak. So you'll be ready to impress your dad this Father's Day with a steak that'll be loved as much as he is. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, wishing dads everywhere a happy Father's Day, filled with lots of, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, make sure you're staying hydrated, taking precautions in the sun as it is going to be hot today and into the weekend as well. Maybe even mid-upper 90s by Sunday. Could see a few isolated storms Thursday night into Friday morning and maybe a few pop-up storms Friday. And some of those could be strong to low-grade severe, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Otherwise, again, sunny and hot.
Hot indeed. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, coming up tonight at 5, a mosquito-borne illness is making its way from the tropics to the U.S. We're going to learn about dengue fever and what's causing new cases of the illness to pop up around the country. Plus, 6th graders from South Middle School in Joplin are taking part in a police camp for summer school. And we'll hear from an area food pantry about the challenges and financial strain they're facing in a post-COVID world. You can join us for those stories and more tonight on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.